Good afternoon, everyone. Requesting our chairperson, Sri Mangiresh Salelkar, and panelist Sri Lalit Saraswat, Sri Rajesh Lolekar, Dr. Harip Khanapuri, Sri Vishwas Sume, Professor Sunil Band, and our moderator Arun Marathe to kindly occupy the seats on the stage. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you had a good lunch and are ready for the next session. We are starting with the session 3. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the session 3 panel discussion on the theme Viksit Youth for Viksit Bharat. In this era of rapid development, the role of youth is shaping a progressive and prosperous India is more crucial than ever. Today, we have a panel of distinguished speakers who will share their valuable insights on how our youth can contribute to building a developed nation through entrepreneurship, skills development, and innovation. We have amongst us Sri Mangiresh Salelkar, CEO, Umang Software, who will be the chairperson for this session. Sri Lalit Saraswat, ex-chairman, Confederation of Indian Industry, Goa. Sri Rajesh Lolekar, ex-deputy director, DSD, Government of Goa. Dr. Harip Khanapuri, associate professor at Goa Business School, Goa University. Sri Vishwas Sume, manager at EDC, Goa. Professor Sunil Band, senior professor and project director at BITS Biosit Foundation. And Arun Marathe, Assistant Professor of Commerce, will be our moderator for this session. For detailed introduction, I request Sri Sani Pandre sir and Pankaj Shirurkar to kindly introduce the chairperson and panelists for the session 3.
Namaskar. I have this privilege to introduce Shri Mangesh Salekar sir. Sir is a prominent figure in Goa's technological sector, in the Umang Group since 2009. As a dynamic and multi-talented entrepreneur, he has received number of awards including Times Entrepreneurship Award, Leadership in Leadership and Technology, Young Entrepreneur Award. In 2017, he founded the Goa Technology Association, now leading to a leading organization in IT startup in the region. Sir is an advocate for tech innovation and fostering collaboration between industry, academia, and government. He serves as advisory board of major business associations like ESCOM and NESCOM, aiming to transform Goa into global IT hub. Welcome, sir. I have also privileged to introduce Shri Lalit Saraswat, an entrepreneur. He is the CEO of Sankwal Technologies, a trusted digital marketing company, and has a 25 years of digital marketing experience of serving clients across America, Europe, and Asia. Sir is the past chairman of CII Goa and member of CII Western Region. Sir is an advisor and investor to numerous startups. Sir is an advisor to the governing council and IQAC committees of various educational institutions. He has completed his BE Mechanical from NIT Jaipur and has attended management development programs at IIM Ahmedabad and IIM Bangalore. Welcome, sir. The third resource person, the panel member, Shri Rajesh Lolekar sir, has completed his Bachelor's of Engineering from University of Bombay, postgraduate diploma in management and postgraduate diploma in finance management. He has experience of working with various companies, State Directorate of Craftsman and Training, Directorate of Skill Development, Entrepreneurship, Government of Goa, and Assistant Director Training. He has worked on various projects funded by the state government, and he was instrumental in launch of various skill development programs with regard to IITs and introduction to new courses in the Department of Skill Development. I welcome all of them. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. It's my privilege to welcome Dr. Harip Khanapuri. Sir is an associate professor in financial services. Sir has completed his diploma in management, post-graduation diploma in financial management, certified ISO internal quality auditor, M.Com from Goa University with a first rank, MBA in finance from IGNOU, and he has also done his PhD in commerce from Goa University. Sir has total 23 years of teaching experience at UG and PG level. Sir has worked as RUSA Institutional Coordinator at SS Dempo College, UBA Nodal Officer at Goa University, Vice Principal at SS Dempo College, Program Director at MBA Financial Services, Goa Business School, Goa University, and he is currently working as a director at Directorate of International Cooperation and Exchange at Goa University, Director at Directorate of Foreign Students at Goa University. He was the chairperson of Board of Studies in Financial Services at both UG and PG level. Sir has guided 6 doctoral students for PhD in Commerce, published research papers in national and international journals, presented research papers at national and international conferences. Sir is author and co-author of 5 books in accounting, finance, management for undergraduate program. I welcome you, sir. Next, it's my privilege to welcome Shri Vishwas Dhume. Sir is a manager at Small Loan Department, EDC, Pune, Goa. Sir has completed his Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical from PCC College Engineering, MBA from Department of Management Studies, Goa University. Sir has 8 years of working experience as Loan Appraisal Officer in EDC Limited, and he also worked as SAP ERP modules implementation and maintenance in Zuari Agrochemicals Limited for 8 years. I welcome you, sir. Next, I welcome Professor Sunil Bhan. Sir is currently a senior professor at BITS Pilani, KK Billa, Goa campus, and project director for BITS Biocetic Foundation, a technology innovation hub to foster innovation, industry academia collaboration, create center of excellence, offer skilling program, and also startup incubation. Sir is inventor of 20 plus patents, appointed member of Goa State Innovation Council IP Committee, appointed expert member by Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council, New Delhi, appointed member of the scientific panel SP07 of Food Safety Standards Authority of India by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Sir is president of BITS Goa Innovation Incubation and Entrepreneurship Society. Sir is member of GCCI Education and has published 70 plus international publications, supervised 13 PhDs, and carried out more than 25 external funded projects, including 5 international. I welcome you, sir. And last but not the least, it's my privilege to welcome Dr. Arun Marathi. Dr. Arun Marathi has completed his PhD, MCom, NetSet, PGDCA, and ME in Education. Sir has total 15 years of teaching experience at college and 2 years of industrial experience. He was the NEC coordinator for the second NEC cycle of Vidya Prabodhini College. Sir is the IQAC coordinator of the college and member of IQAC committee of Zatiye College and Kakulo College of Commerce. Sir has designed Nipun software for academic and co-curricular documentation for the Vidya Prabodhini College. Sir is into the social work in music and also a poet, writer, and a thinker. I welcome each and every resource person for the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj sir and Sunny sir. Now I request Sri Rajendra Bobhe sir, Secretary of Prabodhana Education Society, to welcome our chairperson, Sri Mangirish Salilkar, with a memento. To Sri Rajesh Lolekar, Shri Lalit Saraswat, Dr. Harif Khanapuri, Shri Vishwas Dhume, and Professor Sunil Bhan. Thank you, sir. Each of these experts brings years of experience and a wealth of knowledge in their respective fields. This session will cover various aspects of how we can enable our youth to take on leadership roles in entrepreneurship, skill development, research, and innovation. I would like to hand over the stage to our moderator, Dr. Arun Marathi, who will guide us through this stimulating discussion. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to the esteemed panel members, and all the dignitaries and delegates present in this august audience. Our Honorable Prime Minister has given us a vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. And considering the current strength of youth and population in future also, without Viksit youth, Viksit Bharat is impossible. And there lies the importance of making our youth future ready. From Goan context, it's more complicated issue. The thing is that, we boast upon we are Sushagat people, and so of our new generation also. And considering this Sushagatpan and considering the mindset of youth, wherein, we see that, students, when they say job, they consider government jobs are the only jobs. Rest all are stopgap arrangements till they get the government job. From that scenario to making them understand the length and breadth of the private sector, and from there onwards, just becoming a bread earner to the bread giver. I think this travel that we have to do is very long. And therefore, we have this session wherein we have tried to cover majority of these aspects which will keep the focus on our youth and how we can see Viksit Bharat with Viksit youth. And that's our theme. So we have got sessions on startup and entrepreneurship, which will be taken by Shri Lalit Saraswat sir. Then we'll have internship skills and placement by Shri Rajesh Lolekar sir. Then the third session would be on the professor of practice by Dr. Harif Khanapuri sir. Then government initiatives empowering entrepreneurs, Shri Vishwas Dhume sir. And the last one, innovation and research by Professor Sunil Bhand sir. Now, there are some instructions for the fellow panelists. The time will be given around 15 minutes for each presentation, with approximately 2 to 3 minutes of buffer time, additional time. And my humble request to all the panelists to adhere to the time, so that we have not taken the question answer session for previous 2 sessions. So we'll have to have some question answer session and some questions from the audience for all 3 sessions together. So I would request the first member of the panel. Topic is startup and entrepreneurship, Shri Lalit Saraswat sir.
Okay, requires a lot of coordination, but we'll try. Yeah. Okay. Hi friends, good afternoon. Post-lunch session, teachers, you know what you tell your students? Please be awake. I have some bad news for you and good news. I'll give you the bad news first. There are not many jobs happening. There's jobless growth happening. I don't need to tell you this. And my fellow panelist, Mangesh, all of us are talking about increasing turnovers and reducing headcount. We also don't need to tell you this. How many visits to the bank have you done in the last 5 years, last 3 years, compared to what you did 15 years ago? Where will your BCom students go? There's a big problem coming. So all this talk about demographic dividend will actually be a disaster if no jobs are created, and jobs will not be created. There's too much of opposition happening for too many things in life. Right? What's the solution? The solution is to make everybody, and so the good news is the solution is to make everybody a job creator, or try to make everybody a job creator, even if they fail in that journey. Now that I have your absolute attention, let's move on to the next slide. And if you don't mind, you can just get rid of this one chair so I can read what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm so sorry for disrupting this, but disruption is the day of the game of the day. Yeah. So a quick introduction to startups. You don't really need it. You're all intelligent people, all well educated. But startups, the technical definition is something different. And you've got Mr. Sunil Bhand, who's leading a large number of startups. Thank you. See, when you try, you get it. Yeah. So startups are companies which are disrupting the business, right? And people who are in the 30s, 40s, etc. How many of you are still in your 30s, 40s? Okay, 50s? Yeah, fine. Yeah. So all of us have grown up, and all of you also who are above the age of 50 as well, all of you were the Swiggies and Instamarts of your family when you were kids. You all were going to the market, buying the things for your family. Your kids are doing that, right? And the change would get pocket in the pocket. Now, that entire revenue model is disrupted because you're now ordering online, a large number of things, right? So disruption is there. All of you have seen startups firsthand. All of you are making payments using QR codes, Paytm, etc. All these have destroyed somebody's business or the other, right? But then so be it. We have no option but to try and get our students to set up their own startups, even if those startups fail. And I'm emphasizing this for the teachers because failure is usually a big word in the academic sector. In the business sector, not so much because that's a part of your growing journey. So do I need to do something to this? Okay. So I'm specifically talking only about startups that have been set up either in college by students or in college by all of you who didn't raise your hands because you're above 50. So these are startups that have been set up by faculty or students only. And I think all of us need appreciation here for Professor Sunil Bhand. Sir, 20 plus patents, kya khate ho aap? Yeah? Yeah. So this is something to learn from. These are startups. Everybody has potential. KFC was started at the age of 60, 65, Colonel Sanders, right? So age is not a parameter. And why I say that you have to start a startup, because if you don't, then aap advise kya karoge? Right? And I'm repeating, it's okay to fail, but fail small. Don't blow up 10 crores and come back to me saying that, "Arey, 10 crore ura diya." No. Do it with 10,000, do it with 5,000, do it with 0. There are ways. Right? So Dunzo was started by kids in the hostel. It was started as a WhatsApp group. On WhatsApp group, they used to take orders and they used to deliver. And how many of you have traveled outside Goa and used this service? Okay. So how do you really start a startup? You start by identifying a market opportunity. You start by identifying some pain point, right? What is it that has troubled you the most? Whatever is the pain point, somebody is willing to pay for that. So people will pay either for Crocin or they'll pay for vitamins, right? So either you become somebody's painkiller or you become somebody's beauty enhancer. That is your choice. And my request is to encourage creativity and different thinking amongst your students. Everybody should not churn out the same thing. That's a good thing to do, right? But be sensitive in identifying market opportunities and don't dismiss a student's opportunity. Let them run a small experiment. That's what your chemistry labs are for, right? Run a small experiment. It's a controlled experiment. Let there be a small disaster. It doesn't matter. So another startup we started in college was at MIT, Dropbox. I hope some of you have used this. Yeah, it was started by students. Why? Because they could not send out large files. So if there's a problem and you identify the problem, you try to create some solution around the problem for yourself. And while doing that, try and create a solution which is going to help other people also. And while you're helping them, you'll make some money. The second step is to build the right team. Now, all of you are working in teams in your colleges. You also have student projects where they're working in teams, right? But here, this is much more than just that student project. 2 people not performing in a student project out of a group of 5, which is always going to happen. Probably it'll be that 1 person or 2 people work and 3 people don't. But here, if that happens, that company will sink. So helping the students identify the right team becomes critical, right? Where they start assembling a passionate team, complementary skills, which are things that if any of you are teaching HR, you know it much better than I do. Some of you have got corporate experience as well. You know that the HR person's job, and here the startup founder has to do it, is to assemble a good quality team. Mangrish has got a large number of people working in our office. That's probably one of the most important functions in this office. Another startup that came in from IIT IIM alumni in college was Team Indus, which is a space tech startup. Now, why did space tech startups suddenly boom? If you go back to 20 years ago, space was only the domain of NASA and ISRO, and I forget the Russian name, Soyuz T-11 and whatnot they launched, yeah, and the European agency, right? But now you've got private companies working in the area of space. Why? Because there's a tiny, one, technology changed. There are lots of things that converge as far as technology is concerned. And second, the government of India came out with a, can you believe it, few pages policy. Hardly a large complicated policy. Usually policy document would be very large. Here the policy document was barely running into, I think, 3 pages or 4 pages. I may be wrong on the number, but essentially that's the difference. Compared to a Mahabharat, they came down with a 2-pager, right? And that made a huge difference in space tech startups. All of you have lived through the COVID era. Here's a faculty who became an entrepreneur. How many of you took his vaccine? Some of you would have. Yeah, some of you would have taken his competitor's vaccine. But faculty using his research to move into startup. And I can see Sunil Bhanji looking at, okay, here's my 100 crore idea with 20 patents. Starting my own startups. Right? So, if they can do it, why can't you? I'm sure some of you are. Okay, so please forgive me when I'm saying why can't you. I'm sure some of you are. I'm sure some of you also have patents and so on, and some of you are already running your companies. Some of you may be having business backgrounds, may not be having business backgrounds. It doesn't matter. Start. Do something. Let it fail. In that failure, you'll learn many things. If you start something which is not rocket science, something as simple as a t-shirt manufacturing business also, you learn sourcing of products, you learn creativity, design, marketing, printing, logistics, and finance, of course. Right? And if you come out with that actual experience into your classes to teach, the quality of your teaching is going to jump up dramatically. I guarantee you that. So if you're running colleges here, please encourage and set up some small startup just to learn. Because theory, kids are not interested in. And we're actually doing a disservice by not backing it up with practical experience. So my humble request to the management, allow your staff to do it. To staff, go out of the way to do it. You'll be doing a great service for the country. Paisa kidhar se aayega? How does a startup actually raise money? How many of you do trading online? So you have to raise your hand up, both your hands up. How many of you do trading online? How many of you do trading online during college hours? No, okay, no, fine. Not possible, sir. Market crash ho raha hai, aap jaake dekhoge nahi, that is not going to happen. Yeah? Zerodha has not taken money from anybody. Khud ka paisa. Right? Whereas on the other side, Byju's has taken lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money from everybody. Right? So, money comes. If you've got a good idea, you can back it up, money will come. The best source of money is your own customers. You're sitting on a cash-rich business. Right? So, we are sitting on cash-rich businesses where customer pays us money month on month. So, the need for raising money does not exist as long as we are in a service business. If we were to launch a product business that required to sell to 100 crore customers or 10 crore customers in 3 months, then we'll have to go back for money. Now, when you're starting for a startup, first money will come from friends, families and fools. That's a fact. Yeah. People must have backed you, you also must have backed people who are willing to, who you think will grow. Some will actually grow, some will come back to return money. If you don't get money, you'll at least get experience. Right? But my request when I tell you as faculty also to start startups and encourage your students to start startups is not to go and give your gold in a bank and take a loan from there. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to try to grow a business which does not require too much of investment. Every student may not be capable of doing that because the student may have a pressing need to go and get a job to start earning money. But if the student's target is to start earning money even after 3 years of graduation or 4 years of graduation, whatever the child is pursuing, even then let the person start a startup and fail, which does not require too much of money, because the skills he will have at the end of it are practical skills. And the company will thank you for it. The company is going to come back to you and say, I will hire students only from your college. Because your students know that little bit extra. Because they have practical experience. So please encourage them to start something. Fundraising, I've put this down, but I don't want to really get into this because I would encourage you to encourage your students to do business without money. There are lots of businesses that you can start with money, without money or very little money. At best, they may put in 5,000, 10,000 bucks. Stick to that. that money they can raise from within their families, the ones who are capable. If not, help them form teams where somebody comes in with money and somebody else grows the idea. That's also okay. Facebook started from a dorm room, and all of you today know what Facebook is all about. It started from a college student who was in the college campus, in the dorm, and money for growing it after some stage came from his friends who were also studying in the same college. I request you to pursue this model to whatever extent. You'll be creating jobs out of your college, and you'll call those people as the Star Alumni of the Year award. Please do it. This is a very dirty word, right, for students. All of you have used red pen on their mark sheets, right? All of you have given them grades or marks or whatever. But there's a challenge here. The challenge here is academically is one part, but practically in business, everybody's first business or first few ventures fail. I don't know about you all, but my first business has failed, my second business has failed. Only after that the things have started succeeding. And on those failures, the lessons from that, if you can take it, that can help you a long way. So my request is to encourage failure in your class. Encourage the ones who have failed by calling them on stage, clapping and saying, tell us what you learned. If you can do that one thing, they'll get over that hurdle of failure, the fear of failure, and they will actually try something. The ones who can't afford to take risk after graduation because their family situation does not allow them, don't tell them to start entrepreneurship. But they will get better jobs because of this, I guarantee you that. And you also know this. Right? But the ones who can take a risk, it's okay. Let them try to do some startup. Let them try to do some business. And everybody's business changes. So Paytm, what do you know what it started as? What does it do today, Paytm? All of you know, right? Yeah. When they started selling mobile ringtones. Okay? Everybody's business changes. That's the meaning of pivot. Your business changes. And that's okay. Birlaji started with one business, also got into education. Now he's also out to upset Asian Paints as a paints company. Everybody's business changes. Everybody adds new lines to their business. That's a fact. Which is why it does not matter what your students start with. It does not matter what you start with as a business, but start. Right? Airbnb. Some of you have used this service to book rooms. What they started with, what they are today is completely different. It doesn't matter. And every business is about overcoming challenges. You have to keep on overcoming challenges. Unacademy started as a YouTube channel. Now you know what it is. It's giving serious competition to your business as well. Yeah. And this is the example which I think Sunilji will want to note down. Research converted into a hardcore business by somebody who had patents. Right? If you have patents, please use it. I already told you this in a nutshell, that make sure that your students have persistence and grit. That's the biggest skill to have. The rest can be learnt and acquired on the way. Let them not give up. Let them not fail. Let them keep learning. Let them keep innovating. Farm Easy is another app which was launched by students while in college for ordering medicines like Amazon. And for you, my friends, please encourage an entrepreneurial mindset. Please develop an entrepreneurial mindset. It is okay to fail because failure is first attempt in learning. So it is okay to fail because that's the first attempt in learning. Second one will be better. Right? So let's hope that you encourage startups. Let's hope that you have students who become startups and entrepreneurs. Let's hope that some of you also launch your businesses. It could be anything. Start selling food, for example, but start. Edison said that a failed startup founder is a better employee also. No, he didn't. I made this up. But the fact is he failed with 1,000 bulbs. You can still thank him today for his persistence. Yep. Thank you so much.
It was a very small but apt presentation. Now, second on the line, we have entrepreneurship skills and placements. Shri Rajesh Loliekar, sir. I will request him to kindly start with the presentation.
Good afternoon. I know this is a difficult time to pass because those who are having a habit of little nap in the afternoon, it is very difficult to resist the sleep. So I'm standing in front of you at the wrong time. Still, I request you to concentrate on this. I'm an odd man out here. Because why I'm saying odd man out, either persons here, dignitaries or intellectuals who are here either from industry or from colleges of undergraduate courses. So I am from skill development department. Since I was requested to give the presentation on, not presentation as such, to discuss some issues related to internship, I thought, okay, we'll start some thought process so that department can help students of undergraduate. The department vision is killing the last man. Okay, next. Here I can see. Will not go in detail because the madam will give the cheat to me to stop. These are some slides I'll just mention about. We are offering 42 different skill development courses in ITS, 10 government and 3 private ITS, engineering and non-engineering. These courses are either affiliated to National Council of Vocational Training or State Council of Vocational Training. I will not go in detail here. Apprenticeship. Now, apprenticeship is mandatory for ITS students. Now, with the launching of Chief Minister's apprenticeship policy last year, there is an opportunity for undergraduate students also to undergo apprenticeship, and last year I think 3,400 students enrolled as apprentices in government department and private industry. Most of them are BCom, BA and BSc. So this is a good opportunity. Other day I was discussing with one of the officers of higher education. I said, can you treat apprenticeship as an internship? Just a possibility, because they are in the process of finalizing terms and guidelines for internship for undergraduate students. Because till today, internship was for ITI student, diploma, degree student, engineering student. This with new education, national education policy, internship is mandatory for college students also. Now, for ITI students or diploma degree students of engineering, moment we say internship, we think of industrial estate or bigger industries in Goa, where our technical student can go and complete the internship of 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, depending on the college. When it comes to BCom, BA and BSc, very difficult to identify 12 to 15,000 students, where to place them. At the most, BCom student can go to any bank or any other financial company. Where the BA student will go, where the BSc student will go. BSc, part of them can go to pharma industries, agreed. But the officer of higher education was telling they have a task of placing almost 12 to 13,000 students in internship, and which is mandatory as per national education policy. There I pipped in, I said, we can help you, provided your department put up the proposal to government that some skill development courses can be considered as a credit system in the under credit system, and that can be treated as internship. I'll go to that slide directly. Here apprentices, I'll elaborate here. Trade apprentices, ITI student, then BE, you can 3 at serial number 3, BE, BSc and BBA. There is a apprenticeship opportunity, but this is looked after by Board of Apprenticeship Training, the headquarters in Mumbai. If the proposal of apprenticeship is taken as an internship, then this can be of great help to undergraduate students. Now, coming to CMKPS, which I am heading this scheme presently as a project manager. In most of the Industry Connect program, because we have tie-up with GCCI, CII, GPMA, TTAG, all leading industrial associations in Goa for last 10 to 15 years. And I would like to thank them on this forum that there is always a support from all industrial associations and other industry captains to place our students, to give them internship, to send mentors in ITI to train them on latest technology, because ITI courses are not oftenly curriculum is changed, so they are learning maybe some obsolete topics also. There our industry partners has helped us. Now, in various Industry Connect program, there was a complaint from industry persons that you are not doing enough for us. Your students are passing out 1 year and 2 year courses, but they are not able to work properly on the shop floor directly. So what is to be done? With this complaint, it gave a thought process for us that we designed a scheme. With this scheme, what we are doing is, after completion of that course, we can give them add-on courses. Now, example is Putmaider. Putmaider have a plant in Verna. They have suggested us to start a 3-month upskilling course based on the curriculum provided by them. With this 3-month, 1.5 month course or 3-month course, they Putmaider will be able to place them directly on the shop floor, because that advantage of basic welder course plus 3 months of course of their choice, their curriculum, they will place them directly, and they have promised to place all 20 students directly on the shop floor. This is the biggest advantage for us, because placement is difficult nowadays. So such things are possible under this scheme. That is one. Secondly, under this scheme, we have started short-term skilling courses for BCom, BA and BSc students of government colleges. I can see some professors sitting here from Sakri College and Kandora College. We have started already courses at Margam. We completed 5 batches of these short-term skilling courses at Margam. We will be starting at Kandora for Kandora student, Sakri College student, and all other college students, but government colleges. Right now, it is first step for government colleges. Now, coming back to national education policy, I discussed this matter with one of the senior officer of DHE, that is higher education. Can we consider these short-term skilling courses, what we are offering today in ITI for college students, as a credit? Because as per new education policy, I need not tell you, it's a credit system of 30 hours of practical, 1 credit, 15 hours of theory, 1 credit or 2 credit. If our department have tie-up with higher education, and our courses which are offering in government college ITI or any private institute, if those courses are considered as credit, then it will be easier for college students to complete their courses, because 40 credits per year and the total 160 credits at the end of the course is mandatory. In addition to theory, practical courses which will be considered a credit, it is very difficult for college to identify. So this scheme can help Directorate of Higher Education to consider, so that you can consider or your student to undergo these courses. This some of the MOUs we signed with the Industrial Association, altogether 64 MOUs we signed, but out of that I am proud to say that on National Youth Skill Day on 15 July, on one single day we signed 39 MOUs. Now what these MOUs contain, I'll show you what are the clauses of MOUs. Madam, this is taking lots of time. You consider this time. These clauses of MOU, these are common MOUs, but there are flexibility also depending on industry. Now, this name of the industry shall conduct campus interview every year after result of ITI. There we can say change the clause to government college or private college student. They will hire 2.5% of apprentices every year. This is mandatory for them. This company will participate in placement fair and apprenticeship bharti melas being conducted by directorate. They shall offer regular contract or contract job to maximum number of apprentices, means after completion of apprenticeship for 1 year or 1 year 3 months. Train the training program for trainers appointed by ITI. All these clauses are applicable to higher education institute, mean college also, provided college starts signs MOU with industry. Today morning one MOU has been signed by Dr. Bhavi with GCCI. GCCI has signed MOU with us also with all these clauses. Your clauses will be slightly different than that. Then I will not go in detail because these clauses already I think Dr. Bhavi has taken care of. Tata Technologies Limited, we have signed MOU with Tata Technology. They are pumping in 160 crores to in Goa in ITIs 10 government ITIs will be upgraded, and remaining 34 crores something will be pumped by state government. What is the advantage of this? They are offering 23 short-term courses and 6 long-term courses, where degree and diploma engineering student will come to ITI to undergo these courses, because all are new age courses. Similar arrangement can be done with, I think you are associated with NASCOM. NASCOM is offering various courses for college students, BCom, BSc and BEd. There also you can take use of NASCOM, you can tie up with NASCOM, and NASCOM will help you to start various courses which can be used as credits. These are best practices of department. Skill gap analysis. Today morning, one of the speakers said in his speech about skill gap, gap between placement and what students are passing out. Our department has conducted skill gap analysis with assistance of a private body. What they have done is, what are the skills available, which we are offering, and skills required by industry. There was a gap, and this we have studied this, and with the help of this agency, and accordingly we have made the changes in skill courses offered by ITS for students, and this student will be placed by industry. Now, tracer study. Professor Vikas had mentioned in the morning that we don't know where our student go. Sometimes it happens that where our student go, a person passing out fitter and person passing out electrician, they never go to their field. They go on checks. In 3 months they earn for the year, and later 9 months they remain idle, moving by bike. Okay. Now this tracer study will help colleges to find out where your student go. Every industry program or any function with CM, Honorable CM is always asking, "Are tumchi burgi khamata rahe? Electrician magla meena mare, plumber magla meena mare." So this is the cause. Students never choose their line; they change their line, and sometimes they remain idle at home. Hanga ekच example सांगता. How many minutes? Okay. एक लाइव एग्जांपल हांव एक इंटरव्यू पॅनलाक बशिल्लो. आमची डिपार्टमेंट, there was a scheme of Government of India, and MTS, multitasking staff or peon was required for 6 month duration for that scheme, because government has given fund for only 6 months. We have to spend within 6 months and submit the utilization certificate to Government of India. So we were conducting interviews, because as per that guidelines you have to conduct interview or whatever exams and all. So MTS there was no exam, only interview. Some 15 or 20 students, applicants came. Out of that, 3 were ITI pass out electrician. See, they have done their ITI electrician, but they don't want to go for electrician job in private. They want a government job. They were waiting for. See the answer. I'll give the actual answer what they have shared with us. How electrician can pass the law? I passed out in 2019. So I said we are in 2020. This is the incident of 2022. आमले 3 वर्ष जाली. तू कितें केलें? ना आपूण घरा आशिल्लो. मागीर अरे इलेक्ट्रिशियन जॉब हें केला न्ही तुवें, कित्याक वचूं ना? I was waiting for government job. एक आन्सर जालें. Second boy was passed in 2018. He got married in 2021, but still not working. So our director asked him, अरे तू 4 वर्ष घरा रावला, तू लग्न केला, तुका करता कितें तूं? म्हणल्यार तूं how you are surviving? You have a wife also. Now I'm waiting for government job. अरे government job मेळटा पर्यंत private job कर मरे. ना आपल्या government जॉबूच जाय. मागीर बायलेन तुका वच म्हण सांगलें ना, इलेक्ट्रिशियन खंय तरी काम करप. There are lot of opportunities available. Big projects are coming up. They can take up wiring job. They can go to industry for maintenance. But his wife is not ready to send him for any electrician wiring job, any maintenance job, because she feels that he may get an electric shock and die. These are fact. These are fact. I'm criticizing our students only. I'm feeling bad about it. I'm department officer, but I have to criticize them. See, then I asked him the question, तू government job वतलो, ते electrical काम करता थंय लोक shock लागून मरपा शकना रे? ना, government काम खंय करचें पडटा, पगार इजी मेळटा काम करनासतना. Since morning, many of the speakers mention about this. All are waiting for government job. Nothing wrong in that. Till you get a government job, please go for private job as per your skill, as per your qualification, so that you can start your career. If you remain 4 years at home, after 4 years you are the junior most. So think of that. So tell your students, those who are students here, I would like to advise. Don't wait for government job. You can apply for government job. I am a government officer. I should not tell you don't go for government job. It's your choice. But don't wait and waste your time for government job. Start your career in private. Whenever you get opportunity, wherever you get good godfather in politics, any minister, then go for government job. So it's a correct word, I think. Godfather. Yeah, it's a reality. Some of this one, we started online admission from 2021. It was manual earlier. There were a lot of interference for admission. With online admission, we could solve that problem. Other departments are also going for that. It is not a big achievement as such. Okay, I'll not go there. Only one or two things about NASCOM. I said NASCOM is offering good courses. If you go to National Qualification Registry, you can find, I'm requesting these professors of government, these colleges, government and private, you can go to NQR. You will find lot of jobs, lot of courses designed by NCVET, that is National Council for Vocational Education and Training, under which all skill development activities are governed by Government of India. All these courses are available, curriculum is available. We can help you to offer these courses so that you can take those after that their internship or credit. In this way, we can tie up with the skill development, can tie up with the Directorate of Higher Education and help to reduce your load. I request Dr. Bhave also, since you have started this good initiative of interface today, with if you take initiative, then we can definitely help Directorate of Higher Education to consider these courses as internship or credit. Thank you.
Consistently he was asking for how much time is left, and he has left with 5 minutes. So that 5 minutes now available with the remaining 3 panelists. So yes. Now the next session, we'll be having. I'm having one question, sir. So I'll be asking you. Now the next session is on Professors of Practice by Dr. Harip Khanapuri, sir. I will request sir to kindly take over the session.
Good afternoon, all of you. To an enriching session. And a third session without the presentation. And of course, sir has sensationalized those 15 minutes so much that now I'm really getting conscious about it every second. So then let me make the best out of my 15 minutes, okay, and abide by the rules of this platform. All right, so I'm going to speak on POP, Professor of Practice. The acronym is quite apt. Okay, so I think in terms of, we are of course on this platform discussing about bridging the gap between the academics and industry, and I think this has been a topic of discussion in academics from quite some time now. Although a very strong joint discussion between industry and the academicians is absolutely warranted, and hence we are here. Now, the point is, we have been experimenting many things to bridge this gap over the years. Every college, every institution probably has done it. Industry has also probably done its share. I think we have experimented. UGC came up with number of these programs. I think right from career-oriented schemes or career-oriented courses for which UGC had provided good amount of funding to the institutions. That was also so that the gap between the industry and academia is bridged, and there was something like those courses were actually accepted and funded by UGC where we showed that people from industry are coming and taking sessions for our students. I think the essence of it was the practical component that industry people would bring into the classroom, and that would supplement the theoretical knowledge that the students are acquiring in the classroom from the teachers who are otherwise there in the institutions. Likewise, I think we also had this, UGC also came up with guidelines for adjunct faculty, which was another initiative of UGC to ensure that we have industry people coming in. But of course, adjunct faculty was also used for getting in senior academicians, retired professors, etc., to the institutions. And now this is another thing. Of course, besides UGC, there has been some kind of effort from the industry as well as from the educational institutions to collaborate in some or the other form. Signing of MOUs that we are seeing here is, I think, one of those. Now we are talking about professor of practice. So what exactly is professor of practice? So the idea here again is to bring industry insights and a lot of practical inputs from the industry, from the society into the classroom learning. What UGC envisages is that the institutions will advertise this particular post wherein they would ask for some learned people from the industry or experts from the industry, and not just industry, not just business organizations, but depending upon the courses or the programs for which they are looking for professor of practice. They may come from civil service, they may come from panchayat systems, for example, they may come from even municipal kind of organizations, they may come from organizations that are actually dealing with the tribal welfare, for example. So a lot of it's, apart from typical commerce, business, and scientific organizations, etc., or research-oriented organizations, these are the other set of organizations from where we are expecting people to come. And UGC, of course, has set its guidelines. I think those were released in somewhere in September 2022, wherein they said that someone who has at least minimum of 15 years of experience, and particularly at the senior level, preferably, as they say it, would be qualified to actually come for professor of practice. And they would bring in a lot of industry and other exposures to the classroom. Fantastic. Why is this required? Well, as we are talking about bridging the gap, we want to integrate the industry component into our classroom learnings. We want to bring in a lot of real world scenarios, which we feel like probably there is a limit up to which a normal academician probably would go. I think some of the teachers must have experimented with case studies, for example, to bring in the practical exposure and the industry component into their classroom. But there is only as much that we can do as academicians, because we have really not gone through the rigor of the industry and the practice, be it in business firms or, for example, in professions like, say, chartered accountancy, etc. So we want to bring that real world scenario into the classroom, and then develop curriculum in such a manner that the people who are trained by this professor of practice and with such kind of arrangements probably will have some added component of skill. There will be some kind of value add, and they would be more employable. And of course also to increase the interaction between industry and academicians through the channel of professor of practice, so that we actually provide platform for a number of things, including internship, placements, or for that matter, any kind of research projects as well, for instance. Now, in terms of funding, the major question for most of the educational institutions with reference to professor of practice would be like, how do we fund this post, right? I mean, we are already struggling with contractual posts, we are already struggling with visiting basis posts, etc. Then how does this fit in within the existing scheme of things? So what UGC has said is that, and plus there are reservation policies, etc. So what UGC has made it very clear that these positions of professor of practice, which will be, which can go up to maximum of 10% of your sanction strength for your institution, sanction strength of faculty for your institution, they are not going to interfere with your existing quotas, etc. So this is sounding more like a supernumerary sort of a number. And there are some options given on how you're going to fund this. The first option is funding by the industry itself. The second option is funding by the higher education institution. Okay. So funding by the UGC is missing in the list, actually. The third option is also there, which says there's funding by the, you appoint professor of practice on honorary basis, okay, wherein the honorarium, the funding of honorarium comes again from the higher education institution. So that means broadly there are only two options, either by the industry or by the higher education institution. So it's going to be in that way. Okay, now larger issues to deal with so far as professor of practice. In last 10 minutes? Okay, fine. So first question is, how do we attract professor of practice? Well, I think industry academia collaboration is happening at certain levels, at the institution level, at the industry bodies or industry associations. I think I still consider it's happening in silos. In the sense, for example, in educational institutions, we have industry academy linkage cells or committees. So it will comprise of some teachers who would probably think of ways and options of getting industry people into the curriculum. And in the industry bodies, like say for example GCCI, we have education committees, which comprises of some people probably coming from educational institutions, etc. But I think the reach is the extent of activities happening at both the levels is still very much limited, because we have had education committees in industry bodies from long. We have had industry academia linkage committees in the institutions from long. Now I think if at all we are talking about creating a pool of industry people and really we are serious about implementing POP in true spirit and sense, then we should be looking at, especially for Goa, for example, the Goa's higher education system at a larger scale, at a very macro scale. Probably a joint body which is set up by the, say, for example, industry association as well as the university or cluster of institutions, other colleges, etc. For example, they can probably come up and establish a body that can actually resolve all these issues. What is required is come to a common platform and share all the plus and minuses of the existing systems and really question what we have been doing all these years. Because if we don't do that, then it's going to be a problem. Let us, I know we have a lot of things to learn from countries like Finland, for example, which is very well known for vocational education in particular and the employability and also these startups and these, that, etc. They think at a national level. The policymakers would think at a national level. The educational institutions would think at a macro level. So we are not solving the problem of a single institution. We are solving the problem, and the problem is unemployment. The problem is lack of skills. The problem is the gap that is existing between the academics and the industry. So it is not peculiar to one particular institution. It is all pervasive. Everybody is experiencing this. So if everybody is experiencing this, then there has to be some kind of a macro level setup where we talk about it and we find out solution for this. So if we are talking about attracting professors of practice, a pool has to be created. UGC has already started its portal for professor of practice. More than 15,000 professors, people from the industry and other organizations have actually enrolled into that. And over 400 higher education institutions have enrolled themselves saying that we need these professors of practice. So that pool is happening. But then those for institutions in Goa, for example, those might not be easily accessible, or there might be a cost attached to acquiring those people. And in that sense, we need to hear also, for example, we have industry bodies here, we have educational institutions here who can probably come up and establish this joint platform. That could be one to create a pool of resources. Then, of course, we need to look at competitive compensation, because ultimately it's a lot of industry insight that is actually coming into the classroom learning. Now, if we actually see professor of practice posts advertised by IIMs in particular in India, the salary ranges anywhere between 1.1 lakhs consolidated per month to, it goes up to 2 lakhs per month. If you are talking about introducing POP at the college level, education level, etc., then probably, of course, for Goa as such, we might not face that much problem because we don't have so many, so many business schools, for example, at this place who would compete with each other, and therefore compensation might be a problem. But if we really want to get good inputs from the industry, then it's necessary also for us to pay better. Flexible appointment model, because industry people will be coming here. I think a bit of flexible appointment model is required. Some organizations, some institutions are experimenting with hybrid modes. Part of their assignment is online and part is offline. We can probably also look at leveraging our alumni network. For example, some of the institutions might have senior alumni who are probably would want to come and contribute. That could be one option. Different ranks are also possible. If it is not possible for us to get really a professor at that scale, a professor of practice at that scale, some of the institutions are going for assistant professor of practice or associate professor of practice, and then the full professor of practice, that kind of a ranking. So that way, one thing is possible. Then, of course, what would be their role in curricular development? Well, we have been experimenting getting industry people on board of studies. That would continue with professor of practice as well. But more important is we need to have a formulation of a policy at the higher education level as to how we want to actually leverage on the strengths of professor of practice. So probably we could have them for developing some teaching resources, developing some case materials, for example, give them some task of designing dedicated industry electives so that students who are opting for that become directly employable, and a lot of inputs, practical insights are available from the concerned professor of practice. They can design courses. They can help us getting the industry feedback on our graduates and then incorporate it in the curriculum development. And more important, because an NEP talks about learning outcomes, I think professor of practice can help us in developing some metrics of assessing the impact of industry collaboration on the learning outcomes. So that's how they can probably contribute to the curriculum development. In terms of research, yes, we need to again look at the research aspect at macro level. And my personal recommendation would be like here, we need to define really what is our strategic research agenda. Again, we should not be really looking at one particular institution. It is time for multiple institutions to come together and multiple industry associations to come together on a common platform and then discuss what possibly is a research agenda. Goa, small state, it has its own research priorities probably. It's time for us to really identify and see how POPs can actually be integrated into this. So we can look at some structured research programs, identify some good themes, and define some actionable knowledge outcomes. I think there was a nice project in Finland, it's called as a Shock, in fact, wherein they actually brought in some 15-20 large multinational companies, some 14-15 SMEs, and then research institutions, all these three on one single platform, and they said that let the students, faculty members also interact with all these industry people coming from all these different bodies, and then come out with some knowledge items, they call it as gold nuggets, which can be actually put into action. That would, so these exercises, joint exercise would culminate it into some in the form of some research, joint research. All this joint research that will happen with all these people collectively would culminate into some ideas that can actually convert into patents, that can actually convert into some saleable products, etc. And my final thing here is with reference to the new students and funding. How POPs can actually help institutions to get new students. I think because they are coming from the industry, PhD students is something that institutions can probably look at. Sponsored candidates, probably something that we can look at. POPs, because they're coming with a lot of industry knowledge, can help us conduct executive education programs, MDPs, for example, and therefore also help in generating revenues. And of course, specific industry feeder programs. So for example, for IT, for media, and for such other skill-based industries, we probably can look at POPs who can actually, act as a advantage point for the institutions, and because you have POPs coming from these specific areas, you can actually market your industry feeder programs easily. So in conclusion, I would say that a lot of benefits are possible and a lot of things are possible to accomplish with POP, but what is required is not to think in isolation and silos, but rather go for a cooperative. The economic theories have shown that the cooperative games are actually generating more benefits compared to those which are played in isolation, where only one party wins and the other one loses. If we want industry as well as academics to win, then I think it's time for cooperation. So that's my perspective on this. We would discuss further. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, it was a very deep presentation, because professors of practice is something we are hearing new from the UGC coined term. Now the next session will be taken by Shri Vishwas Dume sir, and the topic is Government Initiatives Empowering Entrepreneurs.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I've got a little presentation. So let me introduce myself. I'm Vishwas from EDC, and my topic for discussion are government schemes to help you. Now, as I understand, most of the audience here, and somebody is yawning, okay. So most of the audience here are principals, right? So my presentation is catered especially to you so that you can tell your students about our schemes, okay? Now, just a brief background, each government department has its own schemes. So Directorate of Agriculture has its own schemes for fencing, for solar paneling, even for clearing of land they have got a scheme. Directorate of Fisheries has their own schemes, right? Now, talking of EDC's point of view, we fund businesses, right? So we give business loans. Now, EDC has got many business loan schemes, right? Now, out of all these business loan schemes, I'm going to be taking you through our best scheme. Okay with me so far? Yes. Right, okay. Are you there? Right, good. Okay, so this is our best scheme, Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana. Can you see the icons at the bottom? Often your students will tell you they don't get a job, so what they should do. And you will also be blank. You will tell them you do what you like to do, right? So then they'll come to us, and there are people, students who come to me and saying, tell me what they should do in their life. I can't answer that. So here are some examples. Oh, sorry. This is a very sensitive pointer. Back. So the first icon over there, can you see it? Yeah, it's a photography studio. We have funded photography studios. The next is dentist. Gym, right? Then somebody said sewing machine. It's a gym. Okay. Yeah, but we do fund sewing machine. We do fund tailoring units, right? Okay. Then next is taxi. That's right. Then saloon and hotel. I like the last one in particular, right? Okay. Food was good, no? Right. Okay. So this is what we want our borrowers to look like, happy. Right? When our borrowers are happy, we are also happy. Our money comes back. So if a borrower comes with a long face, we know this fellow is gone. Our money is also gone. So this is a now this is a fact, because when we give you money, we expect it to come back so that we can give the next person money, right? So if it doesn't come back, that cycle is broken. Okay, so this is a brief background, a lot of English, just brief background. It was launched in 2001 by our ex-Chief Minister, Mr. Manohar Parrikar. We have funded about 8,000 people, just like you and me, through this scheme. And the objective is to provide financial assistance to unemployed youth. So basically, educated, unemployed, right? Oh, sorry. Yes. So now this scheme since 2001, has it remained the same? No. It has undergone revisions, it has undergone changes depending upon the market realities. So every couple of years it undergoes changes. During the latest change in December 2023, we now give loans to existing businesses as well. Earlier it was educated unemployed, that means somebody starting new. But today it is somebody who also has an existing business can also apply for expansion. Earlier there was an income ceiling. Above 10 lakh rupee family income, you are not eligible. Right? Today that family income ceiling is gone. Okay with me? Or everybody with me so far? You can see. Right. So that's a tailoring unit. Okay, so a brief background here. What do we fund? What do EDC fund? We fund fixed assets, right? So everybody here knows fixed assets? Very good. So we do not fund current assets in EDC. We fund fixed assets with the exception that the CMRY scheme allows us to fund fixed current assets up to 40% of the project cost. So basically this was done to help businesses go through the first 1-2 months. After that they have to get a working capital facility from a bank. Right. So what do we do? Basically what we expect you to do is we expect you to get in touch with your students, the current students as well as the batches who have passed out. In case any of them want to set up their own business, please ask them what is their business idea, because they need to have a business idea in the first place. And then you can take a picture of this slide if you want. We would like them to just break up that business idea into cost. it takes money to start something, right? So over there, just break it up into how much money they are going to need for various items. Premises is shop, machinery, furniture, electrification. Clear so far? Okay. Now, how much money can we give is the next question that comes. So, the how much money we can give depends upon the educational qualification. That is, professional and technically qualified people, the project cost is limited to 25 lakhs. Whereas for all others, the project cost is limited to 20 lakhs. We also fund the purchase of premises, but up to that amount. Now, I will go further in detail on this. Please note that you have seen the taxi on the slide, right? So, we fund all goods carriers and taxis, right? Taxis can be Ertiga, taxis can be Innova. Now, how much can we give? Because a lot of people have come to us for this, right? So, a car which is costing more than 10 lakhs, we can give either 9 lakh or 9.5 lakh, the last column, right? And above 10 lakhs, our loan is limited to 16 lakhs. Now, here is a pie chart. We all like pie charts, you know. So, over here, you can see how much is the money that we can give. So, men 10%, general category, all other categories women is 5% promoters contribution. That means if your project cost is 100 rupees, I can fund either 90 rupees or 95 rupees of the project cost. Done? And how much money I can give you? Depending upon your professional qualification, I can give you up to 23.75 lakhs. Now, what are the eligibility criteria? So, these are the eligibility criteria listed on the screen. The age, minimum age standard pass, and we require 15 years residence certificate. Now, this is the best part of the scheme. See, every lending institution will give you money, but that money comes at a cost. Here, the rate of interest of a CMRY loan is at 8%. But if your unit is in operation and you pay us on time, we will give you a 6% interest rebate. So that means the cost of that 23.75 lakh rupees to you will be 2%. Now this is on an EMI basis. Everybody understands EMI? Right. So we are in which month? So if you had paid me the EMI of September, in October I would have paid you the interest rebate. You pay me the EMI of October, November I pay you the interest rebate. As simple as that. So the repayment period is 5 years to 7 years. Now, what is the collateral for this, right? So the collateral is divided as per the loan amount. So a loan of up to 2 lakhs, right? We take the personal guarantee of the applicant and spouse. If your student is not yet married, any parent or relative can sign. Right? 2 lakh to 6 lakh, then we require one third party guarantor. Somebody earning about 5 lakh a year. Above 6 lakh, notarized copy of ownership documents of a property. We don't want the original, we are not putting a charge on it, just a notarized copy. Can be of the applicant, can be of anybody else. The processing fees for this are minimal, 500 or 5,000 or 200, depending on the case to case. Now, there are just a general terms and conditions. One loan per family, so husband-wife couple can apply for only one loan. But if the family has 2 kids, each kid gets a separate loan, once they are adult, of course. We require projects with fixed assets, right? And right now, there is no takeover of existing loans. And of course, the applicant should not be a defaulter with any bank, right? So basically, we require one photograph, qualification certificate, 15 years residence certificate, Aadhaar card, PAN card, and any other certificate. It's not like a long list that I'm going to tell you. So please don't get scared. And that's our building, right? So along with that, now to disburse money, I require quotations. What do you want to buy? If you want to buy machinery, quotations. Furniture, quotations, right? I cannot put money in your bank account and then tell you to spend at your will. That is not a business loan. That's a grant. We require NOC from the panchayat or municipality and any other NOC as per the business. House tax receipt. So this part is clear? Right, good. So our next best scheme is Goa Tribal Employment Generation Program. This is the state government scheme only for members of the scheduled tribe community. The Chief Minister's Rozgar Program Yojana scheme, the one that I discussed earlier, was for everybody. The GTGP scheme is only for members of the ST community. Now this scheme is similar to the previous one with the exceptions as listed below. Minimum 4th standard education, they get a 40% capital subsidy on the loan amount, right? So what does this mean? If somebody here wants to buy a Maruti Ertiga to use as a taxi, costing say 11 lakhs or 11.5 lakhs. They put in 1 lakh, we give 10 lakhs. Done? They pay us EMI of 6 lakh rupees. So they don't repay the 4 lakhs. That is 40% of the loan amount, right? And their contribution is 5% of the project cost. Now, how much money I can give depends upon whether service, trading, MSME, and here the interest rate is flat 2%. Here there is no calculation, plus, minus, multiplication, division, nothing like that. So this is the end of my presentations, and this is my number. You may click a picture. If any of your students are interested, just ask them to make a list of the costing of their idea. Please connect with your ex-students also, the ones who have passed out. Particularly in the last 3 years, they are already working. They may want to try something of their own. Need not be in their line. Some of them want to become bakers. Some of them want to become interior decorators, right? One fellow even contacted me. He wanted to set up a gaming studio, like cyber cafes with games, like how we used to play earlier. So they let them just do it in a brief little tabular format. You can click a picture, you can WhatsApp to me. And you can send me the name of the student and the phone number. I'll get in touch with that student. And rest of the process we'll handle from there. Right? Yeah. Thank you.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच सर. अशें म्हणटात की पयशाचें सॉंग घेवन जो बाकी सगळीं सॉंगां घेवं येता. सो द मेन सॉंग कोंकणी भाशेन कोंकणीच्या भाशेन आमी म्हणूं शकता की सॉंग कोंकणीन सॉंग पयशाचे द लोन द स्किम्स द गव्हर्मेंट स्किम्स वीच आर देर फॉर द एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेव्हलपमेंट. Thank you very much, sir. Now the next session that we have by a man with patents, Professor Sunil Bhan, sir, on innovation and research. I would request sir to kindly take over the session. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. I think I'm the last and I think most of the important things are covered. And I will not talk about myself, that's not my role here, I guess. So good evening again and thank you for the organizers, the principal and also the GCCI, the partner, and also the participant and esteemed colleagues. So I don't have a presentation, but a 2-minute video is my startup child, 125 crore. If it can play the sound, will be nice, and then we move further for remaining 13 minutes. I'm not sure if the voice is coming, maybe I can make the... Yeah, good.
BITS BioCity Foundation, a Section 8 company, finds its home within the prestigious Birla Institute of Technology and Science, BITS Pilani. Nurtured under the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical Systems, NMICPS. BioCity Foundation is a dynamic technology innovation hub for translation research, innovation, capacity building, and entrepreneurship. In the fascinating realm of biocyberphysical systems, BioCPS. BioCPS transcends boundaries, converging the worlds of biology, electronics, chemistry, computer science, and associated disciplines. The foundation is aiming to impact the broad application areas of healthcare, agriculture, environment, and water. spread across 3 vibrant campuses of BITS: Pilani, Goa, Hyderabad. BioCity Foundation actively nurtures and supports technology development and deep tech startups, providing state-of-the-art infrastructure, upskilling workforce and leaders in BioCPS arena. At BITS BioCity Foundation, we're the driving force behind the future of BioCPS. So join us in this remarkable journey and help shape the future of this exciting field.
Thank you. So this is one such platform. I think that's the theme of today's expectation of me being here to share experience. That one side is the academia, and there are stakeholders, students, our main customers or stakeholders. Then we have faculty, we have administrators, we have policymakers, and we have industry and startups. I think we are talking about an ecosystem development, and we all in one way or other are the enablers of the ecosystem development. And I think quite important verticals were very nicely addressed by Lalitji and also the other esteemed speakers. And that's all together is expected. Okay, government has brought policy, government has brought funding. 6,000 crore is the national mission on interdisciplinary cyber physical system. 25 hubs across the country doing the things where we need to come like an airport, bring the aircrafts, connect and fly. I think that's the Viksit Bharat, right? So how do we create platform from bigger platform and smaller platform? How central government and the big industry, NASCOM, CII, all those FICCIs are doing the job. But on the ground, how do we get benefited and how we ignite? So I would emphasize on 2 alphabets, I and M. I think the whole story should be around that. I is for idea. The whole world is looming on idea. We have the idea owners here, Lalitji and Mangareshji and other colleagues. They have done it. But what about the new generation? India today has the highest youth population, highest in the world. Imagine 30 years down the line, we will have highest number of elderly people, right? So how we start to look at future, not just look at present. And that's where the research and innovation comes in. And to do that, you need the second alphabet, M. And that's for mindset. Unless you have mindset, you cannot achieve anything in life. Let me take few names other than Lalit Sarojji and also Mangareshji. I will take some names now. Let me see if you know them. Hari Menon. Anybody knows him? He's the owner of Big Basket, right? Then you name Sabir Bhatia. I should name him first. India's first ever web-based email creator, a very good colleague of mine, BITS alumnus. Hari Menon also BITS alumnus. Let me take the third name in technology front, Sanjay Mehrotra, semiconductor giant Micron, which has established a 20,000 crore facility in Gujarat and $3 billion, $20 billion facility in US, BITS alumnus. Let me take fourth name now, Ishan. Anybody understand? Okay, let me take one more name, one more Lalit, okay? Grow and Swiggy, they are my students. You see, in such an ecosystem is one example for us that how we leverage, right? So first, creating ideas or people to think differently and think openly. Are we able to create that environment in our schools, colleges, other places, at home first? Are we allowing our kids to think openly and giving them freedom to choose? Just pushing them in a given direction, I don't think Viksit Bharat will be achievable. I don't think so. And so also the people who are like-minded would believe, right? So research and innovation is not just a one-day job, or because today now the expectation of recession is on or tsunami is coming, we start to look forward. No, I don't think so. Sabir Bhatia created Hotmail out of a completely blank space. Okay? So innovation and research, I think the best example is this. Nobody asked for. Correct? The best example is Internet Inside. Nobody asked for from the industry side. So I always try to give these two examples, even with the top players of industry, including Mr. Birla. That you are making a fabrication industry, paint is a known business, it's me too. But where is the disruption, right? Disruption is in the ideas, right? So that's where I think it's important We now, create minds which are really different, not from the old school. And for that, I think a very good example, if you have seen the movie of or heard about Professor John Nash, the famous mathematician, and if you see his first, even in the movie, they say he first threw the book into the basket, the dustbin, and say, let's create the content rather than repeating the content. So we need such creative teachers and professors today who will create knowledge rather than just deliver the knowledge. I think that's where we need those transformation, right? C++ first came in 1989. Rajaraman, ISC Bangalore professor, he wrote that book, still taught with the same book today. We have gone beyond. Where is the change? When the new book will come? AI. Now AI is going to be like everyday event and every discipline will need, and that's where I think research and innovation need to be brought into every discipline. It's just not the domain of science and technology. I think technology can come in anywhere. I gave example of Grow, and that's nothing but a e-commerce startup. Swiggy is an e-commerce startup. There's no technology per se. It was built on a generative or a secondary technology, which has just touched life. It's so impactful thing, though Swiggy is still not in the profit, but the impact is fantastic. So where from it comes? I mean, I have spoken to those guys before they became successful, and what drives them, they were sitting outside my room in the night, and then trying 5-6 students, and then try to make something and try see whether it works. Let me take one more name, Red Bus. Fanindra Sama, my student from Pilani. He was in the second year of his degree, and he ran away with some 5 lakh rupees because he was trying to make first prototype of his Red Bus. So student will travel from Pilani to Delhi towards the end of the semester. So he said, I will book 35 buses. That was the requirement that time, 2001 actually. And then he said, yeah, somehow he failed. So he disappeared with 5 lakh. And then he came back, he paid everybody 50 lakh after 15 years. And accepted the truth. He was in entrepreneurship in residence in Goa campus for 1 month before selling off the Red Bus to Singapore company. So what is the game is risk-taking ability, motivation and ideas. I don't think we need more than that. Policy is there. We cannot say money is not there. 6,000 crore in NMICPS. Day before yesterday, we got another big success under National Quantum Mission. Now, who is going to benefit? Not BITS Pilani. This hub is for the world, not for just Goa. It happens to be in Goa because we conceptualized. It is also the aspiration of Goa, the openness of Goa inspired us to create this hub in Goa, but it's for the whole world. The companies are from all around the India, and while I was coming to this event, I was called by the Salt CEO from France. He said, Sunil, let's connect. I saw your effort on the LinkedIn. Lalji is always also encouraging. He said, I am ready to give you 15 crores on the spot. For what? To enable ecosystem. So the money is there. I don't think that we are challenging that issue. The issue is with faculty, with the policymakers, the enablers. The NEP is also there. Now we cannot complain. NEP has all the elements. You can take off for 1 year, faculty startup, student startup. What is not there? I think time is gone. I think you were saying during the lunch that we should not complain, and precisely we have been a golden time. The country is sitting on a wonderful resource. If some of you have visited US, probably you will agree India is ahead of US in digital transformation. Correct? So we can leverage fantastic resources with ideas, encourage our students, enable them, give them freedom to fail, as rightly said, fail fast, and then succeed. I don't think I need to elaborate more, but I will touch upon some of the basic points. I have 5 minutes left. So how we can do in Goa? This hub is in Goa. We are already in talk vibrantly with some of you are mentoring us. We have reached out to at least 45 industry in Verna one-to-one, spent 3 to 4 hours with HR department, with QA department. Even we went to their head offices in Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi. For 3 months, we have been doing only this to build ecosystem. Now our team is reaching out to colleges. I think some of you must have been receiving that our team is reaching out to colleges, to departments, and try to see how we can support some of the innovative projects, how we can encourage students, and we are there. Within 3 years of establishing this startup, which is a technology innovation hub, we are supporting 35 startups as of today, and its value is already crossed $400 million. So very rigorous process, but what we found that ideas are there on the ground. We just need to go pick, enable them, encourage them, support them, mentor them. I think our job ends there as enabler. I have been Dean for BITS Pilani, whole university for 8 years constantly. What I found the challenge is to change the mindset of faculty. Students are still better in terms of transformation. We try to put everybody in the straight jacket. I don't think that is the time. The time is gone. Absolutely gone. I myself, I am a chemistry professor. I teach an entirely different course where students of 4th year electronic computer science sit. Out of 50, 40 will be from CS and EEE. So we need to focus on multidisciplinary research, interdisciplinary research, and that's where I think the key is the collaboration. And that's exactly the theme of today's event, that how we as ecosystem builder, GCCI is doing fantastic job. So also the institution I'm following last 1 year, I think this is 4th or 5th such event on this theme, right, in a short time. And it doesn't usually happen. And I have seen several industry players keen to participate. I think there is very positive energy. What is needed is now to channelize, make some of the good platforms. FIRE has got mighty startup fund now. I think it will be some 10 to 20 crores. So funds is no issue. I don't think we should complain about that. What we need is to encourage, help students build startups, help make them, demonstration, do hands-on, make them, dirty their hands with experiments. I think today everything is in computer. So we need to go out of computers, go out in the field, use, of course, the computer as support, and then try to. So we have what we have. CM has inaugurated last week or maybe a few days back, Research Park at Goa University. What did he say? Despite government putting in money, Goa University ranking is not improving. Why? I think that's what I'm just quoting, quote unquote. So we need to think as faculty, what's wrong? Is the quality of student? The infrastructure is fantastic. I don't think we should complain about infrastructure. State of the art, being chemistry professor, I know chemistry, biology, infrastructure extremely well. I don't think they fall short of any of this, but then it's also a game to be identified. Should we go in the number game? Are we ready for it today, or still we mark our own presence as individual, like a startup, and make our own, presence? I think with this remark, I would say that policies are there. We should only make encouraging policies to faculty, empower them. Number will not help. Well, it's not number, it is the quality, I believe. So if we are able to produce ecosystem which enables them to do research, make innovative minds, with some support, like sandbox are now in every school, correct? There are innovation labs in almost every department. If you don't have, come to incubators. I think there are 4 incubators in Goa currently. This is a technology innovation hub which is giving funding up to 1 crore. Research grants, we are giving research grants, we are giving startup grants. Everything is available. We are giving UGPG fellowship. People are not coming forward. We launched 300 fellowships outside BITS. We got only 50 applications. We are giving 10,000 to UG and 12,000 to PG students. PhD, we are giving 30,000 up to 67 as postdoc. I think it's time we look around, push ourselves a little bit, motivate our colleagues, and I believe the dream of Viksit Bharat is not far. With that, I stop here. Thank you so much.
I will request all the panel members to kindly come and sit on the chairs so that we can continue with the Q&A session. Let us begin with the question-answer session. Before we go with the question-answer session, I would like to request our chairperson to kindly put his words of wisdom and his point of view on all the 5 topics that we have already covered, and also sum up these 5 topics.
Fantastic discussions, I think so. Very well put points forward by each and every panelist out here. A few points I would like to stress upon. We're talking about bridging gaps. I've been trying to bridge gap since 2017, ever since I founded the Goa Technology Association, when we realized that, there is no face for technology industry in Goa at that point, and we said, okay, let me be the face and let's get all the technology people together. We formed this Goa Technology Association, and we almost had around 100 people, 100 companies which came together. And today I'm so proud to tell you, many of you all may not be knowing, there are around 300 IT companies and startups in Goa. Very few people know about it. Most of these companies are small companies, average size approximately around 10 to 25. A very few companies maybe around 300, 500. We do not have that type of a ecosystem like to make the next Bangalore or a Pune or a Mumbai. We still are incubating. The ecosystem itself is incubating. We are in a situation where we have been, we have the policy in place, we have incubation centers in place, we have co-working spaces. I like the point put up by Lalit Bhai with respect to startups. In 2009, when I started my company, I did not know I am a startup. Because the startup fashion, the word came in 2013 onwards after Modi ji came in place. So, in 2009, when I came to know that I'm a startup after 3-4 years, that's the fact. But, we have to look at what makes up a startup. Are we saying everybody and anybody can be a business owner or a job giver or a job creator? Then what happens is, as faculties, we have to note that not always the topper of the university or the topper of your class or a topper of your batch will be the only person who will start. If you take my example, I've been a last bencher. LLB, lazy last bencher. And I've always been one person who has been forefront in the as a cultural secretary, as a class representative, and in the council. These are also things which you need to see that is the leadership part which started in me. We cannot always see that the topper of the class may be the best entrepreneur. We have to look at whether that person has that side of it. So the skill is not always about having the technical skill or the right skill to start that. You need those leadership skills, you need that courage, you need that discipline, you need that vision. When we say vision, we always feel, I have a dream to start my company. You cannot have a dream, you are faking out. Dreams are not what you consciously decide that I want to dream today to start my company. Dream is you sleep and you get that dream. But when you wake up in the morning and you see, okay, I got a dream last night that I have to start a company, and now let me start working towards it. That becomes a vision. We need to define the difference. Talking little about, let me talk about another guy in PCC second year. 50% guy, 50% student. I met him for 2 events. He is winning every startup event. I mean, those pitching, everything he's winning everywhere. 50% guy. Trust me, he gives me super vibes when I meet him. I have called him to my office. I told him I'm ready to invest in his company. Tell me, let us do together something. Bachcha hai. He only knows technical stuff. He doesn't know isme paisa kitna hai. That only I know. I tried to mentor him. I told him, now he's getting scared because I'm calling him 100 times. Maybe his parents have said, "Arey, wo tu kabar kar do lo." But I see that potential in him. I see that this guy is already earning 1 lakh per year, 1 lakh per month, doing different freelancing projects besides his other college stuff at second year. Can you imagine? That's the potential what he's having. And I think so we need to invest in such people. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur, let me tell you very frankly. But we need to see who has the potential to do that. Talking about, Lalit Bhai also spoke about, he spoke about the fundings and something like that. And I liked one point about what he said is, you don't need funding every time in your company. 15 years in business, I'm happy not having any investor. Needabari patta. You get good sleep, no tensions. You are your own boss. In 15 years, we got almost 11 opportunities to buy out the company. Some of the big business houses also came to me. I said, I don't need. I'm happy growing my way, and I know where I'm going. Of course, I'm not sitting with that typical baby that, I want to live with this, I will die with this. I may sell it someday when I really have the good price, maybe, if anybody from here is. But the fact remains is that we need to see whether you really need money. And as he says, not every business needs money. And what I see is, sometimes when a person, I like Vishwas's point here about telling that, if you need, I'm here. That typically is also another thing what half the times when you have this startup sales in your colleges, half the time it's only thought about mentoring, funding, and that guy is, is scratching his head, he doesn't know anything about commerce. But he knows he has an excellent idea. Like me, when I started off, I did not know what is legal side, what is business side, how to receive foreign exchange. I did not know anything. And I'm happy still not knowing it. Because my wife takes care of it. But you need to know that whether you really need the money or not. But if you ask me, certain businesses where you really need to build some machinery, or you need to build something, or you need to build some prototype, definitely you may need that money. But if possible, you can invest from your own money. That's the best thing. There are a lot of companies, there are a lot of project managers of lately who know, in this layoff mood of all the MNCs, they can see that, they may be laid off any time. They've already started their startups. I know many of them. They are reinvesting their own salaries into, building that product. They are not looking at funding. They also know funding doesn't go anywhere. Try a level best, not to encourage students just for funding. Funding is tension. So that was another part of it. About Loliekar sir, I think we need to look at also signing an MOU with Goa Technology Association. I like the point about this apprenticeship as internship. I will really like to say, if you need any help from my side, I'll be happy to speak about that. He spoke about NASCOM. How many people from Khandola College here? Khandola. And Damodar, anybody? Okay. So, you have NASCOM curriculum in your BVOC. Yeah. So, trust me, the NASCOM curriculum in the BVOC is the best. The students who are graduating for BVOC are at par with engineering students. I've hired them from Damodar. They are really good. We need to see, we cannot really always keep them aside that wo BVOC hai, wo separate hai, wo hai. Trust me, in today's world, the situation is such. I've got engineers sitting next to BVOC. I've got, there are some BCom students who have done their technical courses and they are sitting next to my BSc computer science people. If you ask me at the end of maybe 1 year, 2 year, I do not know who is engineer and who is what. Last, sir was talking about credit courses, credit points for the course. I am also there on the academic council of Chogle College. During designing the NEP thingy, of course it's autonomous, they have more flexibility in that, but still, one point I told them to put in the internship side of it is, they were talking about punctuality, they were talking about all this. I said, industrial bande ko koi is not required. Rather you say at the end of it whether he's really industry ready. What are you sending that person for internship for? You're making them get industry ready. And that industry ready points has to be given by that person from the industry. Whether this fellow has built that attitude to sit in that industry. Has he got a little sign of responsibility how a person will have to when he sits in an industry? Skills to aate rahenge. Skills is something which you can develop. Attitude is not which you can develop. The attitude is something which you need to realize, make them realize. And if you ask me, when we hire, we make sure that 50% of our hiring criteria is put on attitude. Trust me, there are people who are toppers of the university. I get calls from MLAs, I get calls from different people, politically inclined, sir. So they call me saying, "Are आका दोवर माझ्या मागेला वो कार्यकर्ता आणि अरे बाबा तुझे कार्यकर्ता तुझ्याचकडे दोवर. I don't need them." For me, I'm very clear on one point. Sometimes the student who is coming and who has reached the 3rd round, and then when he is on the HR round, the MLA calls. अरे उसको थोड़ा select करा. So what select? If he had the capacity, he could have taken it on his own. The problem is the parents messed up. The parents go and call the MLAs. The student, he was doing it on his own. Certain things we need to see in this side also. And last point before we open up is with respect to, let us be really frank. So BITS ke students is one part of it. We've got also engineering students. We're talking about students from BSc, BCA colleges. Trust me, you will all agree with me, you all are facing tough time getting your assignments done also. Your assignments are given before time. Thanks to ChatGPT. Okay? Considering all these facts, we need to also understand they are glued to their mobiles. A normal human being takes around 33,000 to 35,000 decisions per day. Why they get mental fatigue? They have no more strength to decide also what they will do in life. Because 33,000 times they have already done dumb scrolling. How much energy is left? Right? So they have already decided, क्या करूं? नहीं तो Tinder, left, right. So thank you. That was it from my side.
Thank you very much, sir. And now the session is open for question answer. Let me begin first. Now I have a question to Lalit sir. This business, generally the success of the business is more largely depend upon the availability of a customer. If there is a customer, there is meaning for the business. Now in the startup, now from the context of the Goa I'm talking about, maybe a silly question, but for the startup, for that matter any startup, is it not that the population or the availability of a customer has to be also a consideration point from the context of the state like Goa?
There's a fantastic book, I think it's called The Bonsai Manager, if I'm not mistaken, which talks about, or the Bonsai Crocodile, I forget the exact name. So there's this, and if your biology professors over here, please forgive me because I may be using some wrong terminology. But bonsais that grow in large competitive markets, the crocodiles that grow in large competitive areas where they have to hunt faster and the prey is faster, grow and become much larger. But you place a baby crocodile in a pond or a lake, it'll never grow to that size. Sir, I fundamentally disagree that the boundary has to be Goa. Neither talent is, if you are using a mobile phone right now which is made outside Goa, you know what I'm talking about. If you got anybody, and I'm sure you have because there's no mobile phone made in Goa. If you have any family member who's earning money outside Goa and your students earning money outside Goa, you also agree with what I'm saying. You can't ring fence Goa. I think that is something that we should not do. If the startup is good, it'll attract customers. If it is not attracting customers at the place where, if a company is good, it'll attract customers. If it is not, it'll move to the place where customers are. It does not matter.
Session is open for the audience to ask the questions.
So what I have found nowadays is that students are after easy money. They don't want to work hard, especially when it comes to motivation and all. They are not motivated to take up such activities. They are really after government jobs and all. So how to motivate our students and how to bring this aspiration in them so that they will start some of their activities.
I'll take this question. If the next people who ask can say whom they're asking the question for. See, the problem is that, and I don't have anything against politicians. Some of them are very, very nice people. But I think we've made many of them superstars. Right? Now, who are the real stars of society? They're not the heroes and heroines in movies. The faculty over here, the people, the educators are big stars. But does society make you stars? Do we make the people who are doing Swachh Bharat as stars? Have you ever been to, has anybody here ever gone to Japan? Yeah. Some countries have got such amazing dignity for labor. Right? You make stars out of everybody. If the child sees that politician is not the end game, and it's our society's fault, it's not your fault as an educator. We have to stop making certain category of people as superstars. They don't deserve to be. Why do we call a movie star for giving career counseling or follow career advice or relationship advice from a movie star or nutrition advice from a movie star? No, he's good at that. Let's call the right person for the right job. So stop making people superstars. You will stop having children of at least the next generation chasing that thing.
Ma'am, last week I was in Goa University. We had a event, Bridging Horizons. Name thoda change tha. So during that session, I made a statement that half the people after their graduation go out of Goa. Okay. So it was very sad that one of the professor, I wouldn't take the name, he embarrassed me on the stage. Okay. You know, the question he asked me was, maybe because the private companies do not have the capacity to pay them. Okay, it was such a pathetic statement from a professor. I would say that. Okay, the reason being, I think so, and then after that it was so much of applause from all the students. Okay, the typical thing. I think so, you need to understand one thing, ma'am. They are still scratching the surface. They do not even have the capacity to sit in the industry at this point. Some of them, I wouldn't name everybody. Okay, and at that time, you know, we need to understand, if you are teaching the students about money part only, then what are they really going to learn post the industry? The situation, at least in the technology industry, is such that people are jumping every month. It's pathetic. Okay, we have to understand, when we had, you know, put up an opening for 2 students. We wanted 2 candidates for particular technology. We got 250 applications, like government job. Why? Because there's no jobs here. We got 250 applications. If you ask me, after scrutiny and after the first round, how many were selected? 8. How many? Whom did I give offers? I gave 2 people offer at the end of it. And those 2 people, we told them the joining will be in 1 month. At the end of 1 month, they jumped with those offers to some other company. No ethics, nothing. This is the problem in today's world. Okay, we need to understand also one more thing. How many people, any person from Pedne College. You know, I was been told some of the students, MOPA is very close there. You know, it's very sad that some of the BSc graduates, instead of taking up jobs in an IT company for a 15,000, they are happy to take up jobs as loaders at MOPA at 25,000. Money. This is the problem. I wouldn't blame the parents. I wouldn't blame anybody. Then he's saying, "Arey, my bai is also getting more than 15,000." That professor, how can I beat him? How can I tell him? I said, "Sir, bais are also educated now. And their children are also educated." And this is the problem, and this will happen. And this problem is not just in Goa, it's across. We need to know how do we solve this. A little thing what I would say is, as far as when you talk about these internships and so on, we need to make sure that they are focused more on actual getting that experience. Rather than just telling them that, "Arey, you will get 6,000, you will get 8,000, see how much you will get. If you get 10,000, better." Don't do that. I know there are some of the engineering colleges, I will blame the engineering colleges. Engineering colleges, there are a set of people, 5 to 10 people. They clear all interviews in all MNCs. What happens is, Infosys comes, these people will be there, these people will be 100% selected. Then the next company comes, I will not name, another company, the same set of people get selected again. They are their ambassadors for that batch, for selections. And they are getting, itna sa, they get here, and they get here. Who is spoiling them? This time it is the teachers who are spoiling them. It's a sad state. And we need to change it. It's not the industry problem. Industry is giving as per whatever norms it is. I know there are some companies, as a industry leader from the tech side, I know 100% there are companies who are giving less than that also. We have spoken to them on a different note. But if you ask me, nobody is giving less than the basic wages. Everybody is doing that. It's only the expectations which have grown. I told them, at the end of the first salary, what you will do? You will buy an iPhone with EMI. That's what they want. Who is playing with their mind? Sorry.
To continue with the same thing.
Yeah, ma'am.
What you spoke just now.
Yeah. Students, they are sitting here. Any questions pertaining to your career, startup, any idea if you have? We have got experts here, you can always explore that.
Sir, you're talking about that one point. Second point, that uncertainty is there by closing of industry. This is the second. And one example I'll give. Now see that cashew nut industries. Can you give me the original cashew nuts which is selling in the Panaji market? My 3 friends, I am from Sakri. And some industrialists are there with my good friends. They are struggling to make to survival of that factory because original cashew nuts are not selling in market. They complain to the Food and Drugs. For the time being, they make the problem. So government, and what is the environmental government? That is also not, protection is not there. About the EDC scheme, about the gym, because my instructor, I'm going to daily gym in my area. He want to open the gym for them. So a lot of they are given the defective points which he cannot cover because he is unemployed, no money, no premises of that. They require some, I think a 10 years agreement is there, no, for that, something, to get the ownership of that land. So, no, so rented no one is giving for 10 years, like that. So this some difficulty. Personally, I had gone faced this problem. So, and what you said, mentality is also important, that government job. So that is why some people are going for that. Thank you.
Sir, I have got one question. Sir, you said about skill gap analysis in your presentation. And also in a morning session, there was a topic of unemployability and employability. Sir, in that skill gap analysis, can you pinpoint some parameters wherein a particular candidate or a student is termed as unemployable or employable, so that in some points may come wherein we can, as a industry academy interface, we can do some activities to cope up those issues?
So that skill gap analysis carried out by our department is through private agency. What they did, the procedure followed by them, they interacted with industrialists from Varna, different industrial estates. What exactly they skilled staff, skilled students, from which different skill sets, and then they approached us. What are the trade courses available in the ITIs offered by us, by our ITIs or any HRDF institute, and that gap, whether they need, industry needs skilled persons of say 10 different skill set, and if 5 of them are already available in ITI and they need, we need to start new age courses for remaining 5 skill set. This is the suggestion given by them. We put up to government and we started those courses. So this is the procedure followed by us.
So those parameters are not disclosed as such?
No.
Yes, any other question from the audience? Otherwise,
there is a general concept that our job market, Goa, is supposed to be the most underpaid. Right? You were talking about somebody getting insulted also. How do you place it? Is the other market better than this? Because I as a placement consultant, I have had people running around to Bangalore. They never stay here. What they said was right. There are parents who are telling their children, this is not the right place for you to stay. Move out from here. So automatically they are going for jobs there. So how do you stop this, I don't call this brain drain, whatever drain it is. What do you do about this?
So I can tell you with respect to the technology side of it, the others.
I pose it to all of you.
See, the problem here is there are 2-3 reasons why we may be having this brain drain side of it. Definitely we need to understand, I'm talking with respect to technology. The salaries of resources in IT companies for starters or for freshers is definitely lower than the other states. I can agree with that part of it. But post maybe say 2 years, 3 years experience, definitely they are at par. Okay, that's one part of it. With respect to when we start, when say colleges itself, okay, you can call it NAC accreditation or whatever thing, for whatever reasons they need a brand associated with them. Okay, and the first thing they have to do is, rather than placing their students in local Goan organizations, they will always look at having brands associated with it. And that is why the first thing they go is having the cream placed outside. And that is why the cream goes outside, we are left with the leftovers. Okay, and half of the people, even after the leftovers, what they do is, even if they are not placed, what happens is they may be going outside for doing some further studies, further courses. People go for higher education. That is how we lose. See, in technology itself, you need to understand we are just struggling with 1,800 resources passing every year. Technical side, IT only. As against Bangalore, 1,70,000. So you know why people are setting up outside. N number of times we have got our CMs going, inviting Infosys to set up their shops here. They are saying we will give you 5 crore of subsidies or whatever it is. 5 crore is peanuts for them. Why do Infosys need to come here when they cannot? Because if they come here, they will say we will start with a basic unit with 5,000 people. Where will they get? So that's the problem. That's why these MNCs may not be able to, come back. There are happening. There is jobs happening in Goa, right? There is. I'll tell you, we are having demand more than the supply at this point. And then there's a problem if we start hiring people outside Goa, the opposition parties start blaming. When we know the opposition party leader itself, he's outside his home itself, there is a Nepali guy sitting.
See, there's an underlying point between what you said, what he also said, and so on, and the question that sir also asked me. I, for some reason, do not believe in this concept of the boundaries or borders. It's a demand-supply game, right? The market will determine what's going to happen. The water will find its own level. So, if, for example, I were to give a salary of say 100 rupees, which somebody believes is low, the person next door will open shop and say, I'll give you 110. The person who's working with me will go into that place, if money is the only parameter, right? So that is one thing that we can't compare. So if I have to keep a person over here, I may decide to keep the person here at a higher salary than Bangalore if I decide to. If I'm earning enough, I will do that. If I'm not earning enough, I'll say, it's okay, I'll get the next person. So it'll always be going to be a choice, and you have from training and placements, you understand that it's always going to be a choice between retaining somebody at a unreasonable salary versus getting somebody new and training that person all over again. It's math, right? It's just simple math, and all of you are BCom, many of you are BCom professors, you all would agree with that. Now, in a free market, people will move wherever they feel like. They will pick up the job at whichever place they feel like, wherever they feel that they have got career growth. If the Bangalore market is 100 times bigger or 1,000 times bigger than Goa, then it's obvious that that place will attract more job opportunities, will also allow them to cross-learn from other areas and other fields far better than they would in a smaller market over here. So for everybody, it's a conscious choice. For you to stay in Goa and work is a conscious choice. For somebody else to go out and work is a conscious choice. Within that conscious choice, they'll go to the place where they're going to make money. Market forces will determine whether he and I have to increase our salaries. If Infosys comes here, his wage bill will double, my wage bill will double. At the same time, it's good that they come there. Because when they come here, they'll ensure that the training placement options everywhere improve. The quality of people coming out from colleges will improve, while they will take away the cream that they'll continue to do. We will reduce our in-house training costs. And we'll end up giving better quality to our customers. Right? It's a free market. Nobody can determine whether the product, ideally, nobody should determine whether the product is coming in from outside and selling in Goa or whether a Goan is going outside and working. It will happen. People will find what they need.
So I think that is the end of, one question, last final question.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the topic is bridging the gap. So I just wanted to ask one question, because from my experience, academia prepares you in the best case scenario for any candidate, any student. Whereas when you go in the industry, it is the worst case scenario. I mean, you come to know, what is to be done at that moment of the time. So I want to ask that in such a case, internship is a way to get in that situation, but that time also is very short. You may not get many opportunities wherein you may really get to know what are the real life problems when you go into the industry. So how can you solve that kind of a thing, or what is the way you suggest? I mean, what
I can give one small baby step which can be done by the management. So here, if you got 2 faculty who are sitting in front of you for a job, and everything else is equal, then take the one who's got more industry experience. Right? If you do that, then automatically, and I'm sure a lot of you have had wide industry experience, if you do that, then automatically the expectation of industry will come out better as far as the students are concerned. Second, call people from industry to interact heavily with students so that they know that when they're going to step out of their college, I don't know what the expectation of people is when they apply to you for jobs, but I'm guessing it is 2x of what they deserve to get or 3x of what they deserve to get. Now we can debate on the number, that whether it's 2x, 1.5x, 1.8x or so, but usually it is 2x. And boils down to simple as how much will you pay before anything else. That is not what industry is looking for. Industry is looking for output. Right? So the realization that has to come in is that when the student comes in is he'll have to work hard. Now all of you are above the age of 50. The amount you worked hard is way more than the present generation. How many of you agree with me? Yeah? That's the answer. They've just forgotten what to do. Not that they are wrong. They're focusing on other areas. But they've just forgotten what to do. We need to bring that back.
I just want to add 2 more points from our experience. One is perfectly what Lalitji said. Second, we go and send faculty to industry immersion. That we are practicing for almost a long time. For 3 months, the faculty will go to industry, first understand the live problems, what are the requirements, and then they come back. That's one. The second scheme, what we do is we call POP now is part of that. I think it will enhance. But primarily then once you know the problem, then you have to upgrade your curriculum and facilities and infrastructure, because either you send student to industry to get the training and industry doesn't have time, except out of 45 industry I visited in Verna, in Goa, only Syngenta, to my knowledge, was doing a dedicated skilling program on the chromatography, and they have 40 people. And if you look at other side, Goa University is offering analytical chemistry self-finance course. So you don't invite any industry to teach that course, but you are sending them out without talking to industry. I think that gap needs to be filled by doing mutual exchange and curriculum enhancement, and industry readiness will come from that. That's my point.
I think in my opinion, I'll just add to that. These internships in particular require 2 corrections. Given the way it is going right now. One is relating to what Sir said. When we send students for internship in organizations, we send them and we forget. And we say, okay, now 2 months, 4 months, whatever, they are in with the industry, and then they will learn and they will come. Most of the times we find that we don't monitor what exactly they are doing. There is no dedicated person who is appointed, for example, at the institute level, who is actually trying to find out what that student is actually doing, learning, what is happening. So there has to be some kind of a monitoring that is required at the institute level, especially by having a dedicated supervisor for that particular student and seeing that the student is actually acquiring some knowledge. Otherwise, it might so happen that students are going to a firm and we don't know. Sometimes they might know some people over there, they might complete internship and come back without really gaining anything as such. That is one thing. Secondly, and that's where, whether they're getting proper projects, whether they're really learning something, that issue will be solved. The other side is from the industry. We had this very brutal experience, in fact, when we sent one of these we had sent students to some financial service firms. The student generated sales revenue of 3 crores for that particular firm during the internship period. Now that was the volume generated. So when that student came and we were taking the presentation, we did ask, I just asked the student, I didn't ask her what is the stipend that the industry gave, but I just asked her, did you receive a letter of appreciation from the firm? They said, no sir, nothing of that sort. I was just told, thank you for your internship, and that's it. There was no special this thing. Then after that student, 2 other students came for the presentations. One had done a business of 1 crore and another student had done a business of 80 lakhs. These were fund houses, mutual funds. And they had done this in a span of 2 months. But none of them actually got any specific, some appreciation letter or anything of that sort. So I think the correction is required even from industry. That, we had told the students, we are not telling you that you will get stipend, but we want you to learn from whatever platform that the industry is offering. And students dedicated, provided that kind of a dedication, but unfortunately did not get any kind of positive response from the industry. I mean, some appreciation like that. So that was a bit surprising. So I think that is also something that industry also need to provide that kind of some positive feedback. And also, of course, projects and all such learning opportunities.
May I just say something? I don't know. I seem to understand from what she asked, how are we preparing the interns to handle crisis situations, if I'm right. I think that's what...
Right. So it is about the learning opportunities which are available there. So if...
I think, as Sir said,
Yeah.
teachers undergoing that immersion program first and, knowing the industrial setup better would be in a better position to be able to help them prepare themselves, their minds for any such incident that they may come across.
Right.
Because that is when you have the technical also, and you need to have client pressure, you have mental system, these things to deal with, which the students may not get in the internship period, may or may not get. So that's what is really required for the students to prepare for the internship.
Yeah. I think last...
Once you are thrown to swim, once you are thrown in the water, you learn to swim. So then that
No, I'll add to this. We have, I'm talking from DST point of view. We have internship of 1 month and 1.5 months. Student go there and as he said, they are just sent there and no follow-up. To avoid this problem, Government of India, DGT, our governing body, has started a new scheme, that is DST, Dual System of Training. What it says that 3 months of theory part only in ITI, all 9 months of remaining of that year in industry. Student go there and along with that person hired to conduct this batch also goes there. So he also remain 9 months with the student. So there is a advantage of students are monitored and 9 months that instructor also, we call our teacher as instructor. Instructor can also learn latest technology what is there in industry because he is there conducting classes as per the age-old syllabus. But when he goes there, he also can learn many things, new things, and that he can inculcate to the next batch. So this is the concept of DST, Dual System of Training in ITI. Colleges can also think of if government approves such type of system.
Yes, I think we are almost at the, coming close to the closing of this particular one-day seminar. I think there is for B.Ed program, there is a structured internship system. I think it can be replicated in all these, because in B.Ed, what the student is supposed to go and do there in the school, it is already clearly defined. So there has to be clear-cut instructions to the faculties as well as the student who will be going for the internship. What is supposed to go there and do. So some clarity from the industry as well as from the academic. I think this particular interface will help in designing those internship programs also. I think this is a new beginning for all of us in the state of Goa, and this is a startup that we are initiating. We don't know, we are not thinking much about a success, but definitely we are going to take one step with clear vision and mission. So I thank all the fellow panelists for their thorough discussion on all the topics that are allotted to them, and also all the participants who have raised the questions to gain the knowledge. Thank you one and all. So I request all the fellow panelists to kindly take the seat in the audience and organizers to go up with the final session. Thank you one and all.
That concludes our panel discussion. On behalf of Vidya Prabodhini College, I extend a heartfelt thanks to all our panelists for their time and contribution. Thank you everyone. As we conclude this one-day state levels conference, I would like to invite 1 or 2 participants to share their feedback on today's event. 1 or 2 participants to give their feedback.
Good evening. I do not know whether it's good afternoon or good evening now because I've enjoyed the whole, enjoyed in the sense, in a true sense. I have learnt a lot and that is what I call enjoyment. Really very wonderfully organized seminar. Now, I wouldn't say it for the sake of saying because there are times when you just come here as a participant feedback giver and you just say everything was good. So I don't mean that. I actually feel, first of all, thank you so much to Vidya Prabodhini College. It's always very nice to come to your college because the first gratitude that I have is towards you for the sense of oneness and deep understanding and acceptance that you have towards everyone. And I feel that is the most important thing that we all need to do. Beside this, I would like to say that today you have given a power-packed performance kind of seminar to all of us, wherein you have brought so many different perspectives, so many different speakers, and you have not forgotten to pick up on the best of everything. You have had academicians here, you have had wonderful people from the industry, and I must say today it was really an eye-opener for a person who has been one-track teaching in one sense, you know, and I mean most of us would agree that we are more in the that abstract world of academics many times, and we think that we have taught our students, but what we need to do is we need to learn much more and imbibe what the current world and the contemporary vision of not just Goa but all needs to be. I would like to say that there were comic moments of just one thing that if at all there is something small that I would like to give a suggestion, it is about like amidst comic moments which were related to time, which we really enjoyed, that everybody was asking for time, and that was very enjoyable. But at the same time, if in the morning, if the session were to begin a little earlier, or if the time was a bit, what would we say, fast forwarded in today's, so, yeah, then it would be nice to, it was managed very well, but there were one or two speakers probably who kind of spoke a little more than the limit in the morning. As a result, the session were delayed, and I feel that a strict adherence to timing sometimes does help. So I just felt that that was one suggestion, because I'm very sure that there are so many teachers who would like to talk more in this. But I am rather stealing the opportunity to talk a little bit. So thank you so much. I personally would like to, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. At the same time, I'm trying to be a little personal, in the sense I would like to tell the speakers that I enjoyed listening to today. Sri Chonnekar sir, Sri Lolekar sir, Pisulekar sir, of course, Sri Lalit Saraswat sir. I may call sir this as this because sometimes I may not remember the surname, so I am saying Dr. Harip and Sri Vishwas Dume and Sri Sunilji. I'm not able to pronounce the surname well, sir, so first name, which no way connotes lesser respect. I personally feel that in colleges, and I'm sure about what I'm speaking, I'm not criticizing anybody, but rather I'm criticizing myself in the process too, that we look at some of the things which have been highlighted very intensely by the experts from the industry as important for students, is something we look at it as a way to kind of conduct programs. At least I do not say it only happens in my college, but for the sake of this race of either for NEC or any other kind of thing, we conduct programs, we conduct internships, we conduct these many certificate courses. But are they really truly representative of what the industry wants? And in that sense, I came to realize the importance of internship session today to a large level. And I feel this certificate course or the concept of internship should be taken so seriously by the colleges today that we should call, in what way we should do it is something that is left to greater deliberation in course of time, and it will happen. But I feel that is absolutely essential to us. These are the two takeaways that I take back to my college, that one is the immensity of the internship process, and also I would include short-term certificate courses like in banking, etc., which can eventually give our students better job opportunities in the banking sector. And somehow I really liked Pisulekar's view, and I identified, it is one minute, identified the, yeah, okay, sir. But his view that students lack interest, but with time, is it enough for us to say that students lack interest, or we should find out exactly where the interest lies? And I will just, the last sentence, that I do not agree really with the idea totally that our students are today only wanting government jobs. I do feel that there is a class which I myself have taught 4 years back, in which class each of the students, which the class which was considered the back as far as academics is concerned, has become a singer and dancer, mehndi artist, creative fashion, fashion designer, and agriculturist. So with that hope, thank you so much for giving the opportunity, and like every other teacher, I don't understand where to stop. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, madam. We will be giving a few certificates to the participants. I request as Secretary of our Proposal Education Society, Sri Rajendra Bobbe sir, to kindly give away the certificates to few participants, starting with Sri Prashant Bhosle, Associate Professor, Government College of Arts Science, Commerce, Sakri. Ms. Pragati Bhosle, Associate Professor from Sridhara Kakulo College. Dr. Sanchilana Faria, Associate Professor from MES College. Sri Prashant Naik, Principal of Vishwanath Mahadev Parvekar Higher Secondary School. And Ms. Nisha Narvekar from Goa Institute. Thank you, sir. To formally conclude the conference, and I invite Dr. Ujjwala Ansunkar, coordinator of this one-day state-level conference, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. As we come to the end of this one-day conference, I would like to take an opportunity to express words of gratitude on behalf of Vidya Prabodhini College and my entire team. First and foremost, I extend my deepest gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Mrs. Pratima Don and Professor Harilal Menon, sir, for gracing the inaugural session. A special thanks to all the distinguished speakers for the various sessions, Professor Manoj Kamath, then Dr. Radhika Naik for their invaluable insight in the Bridging the Gap industry session, Professor Vikas Pisulikar sir, Shri Sarat Chodinkar, Pachu Menon sir, for enlightening us with their perspective in the internship, a step towards a skilling session. I extend my gratitude to all the panelists of this final session, which includes Mangeri Salilkar, Rajesh Lulekar sir, Harif Kanapuri, Sri Lalit Saraswat, Vishwas Dume, and Professor Sunil Ban, and the moderator Arun Marathe for leading a rich discussion on this particular session on the various topics which were under the theme. I would like to give a heartfelt gratitude to our management members, Sri Sanjay Walalkar and Sri Rajendra Bobbe sir, for their presence. Then a big thank you for all the faculty members of various colleges and higher secondary and the students who participated in making this conference a great and meaningful discussion. Also, I would like to thank all the principals of colleges and the higher secondary for deputing the faculties for conference and who also attended the conference in person. My deepest gratitude towards the GCCI for their collaboration and support in organizing this conference. It was an indeed privilege to work with Sri Sanjay Amonkar sir and his team. A thank you, sir, and for your support and guidance. We are very much grateful to you. Then I would like to thank Department of Art and Culture for giving this venue as our conducting this conference. My heartfelt thank also to the press and media for presence and coverage of this conference. A special thank to our caterer, Shekhar Palkar, who has given us a delicious meals and refreshment throughout the day. And with this, I conclude for the day, and we look forward to have a continuing conversation started today and which will foster industry-academia relationship in Goa. Thank you, and have a great day ahead.
Just a minute. I request all of you to rise up for the national anthem. Two announcements. Collect your certificates from the registration counter and the tea is being served outside. You can serve yourself. Also, you can fill the feedback form. By using the QR code displayed on the screen.